So we are recording. Welcome to everyone. We've been chatting a little bit off air. We've got a bunch of newcomers, a whole bunch of first timers, and we've got a bunch of the crew on who come in to these web trainings week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. And so I really appreciate you guys. I'm here to give you the best I can in the short time we've got together. Of course, can we change your life in an hour? I don't know, but I do know that these strategies can be life-changing if you implement them. So I'll have a quick sip of my beverage and we will get underway. Okay, so first off, quick plug. You've been on the webinar for all of 5 seconds and I'm already selling. All I'm saying is this webinar, this web free training, if you like this, you got to come and spend a day with us at Be Phenomenal. This webinar is brought to you by the Be Phenomenal brand, which is just me. So come along, hang out with us for a day, bephenomenal.com.au, and I do have an announcement later that will make it a no-brainer for you to want to come and join us. So if you do have any questions, what I will get you to do is type them in, because at the end of this training, I am going to sort of go in lecture format in a moment, but save your questions and type them in, and I will come back and I'll answer any clarifying questions that you've got at the end in a Q&A session, because I don't have anywhere to go. As you guys saw a moment ago when I turned on the camera, I am in a hotel room, so I'm here to hang out with you guys. I'm here for the duration, so I certainly have got some time to take some questions from you. So let's make a bit of a start. What are we here to talk about tonight? Yeah, thanks, Nick. Nick said, was that a real Harley or a cutout cardboard one? We're going to talk about the Harley because we're here to talk tonight about give to get marketing as a strategy. And look, it shouldn't come as any great revelation to some of you guys who've been hanging around with me for a while. But for some of you newcomers, what this strategy is, the great man Zig Ziglar once said, help enough people get what they want and you can have everything you want. See, there's a wonderful student. Sorry, not a student. He works in the scholastic environment. His name's Robert Cialdini, and he talks about influence, persuasion, and that sort of thing. He talks about when someone gives something, the recipient of that gift feels an increasing pressure of psychological indebtedness to pay back that giving. So it's so powerful to the point where it's built into our DNA. And what he suggests is it harks back to when we were a caveman, that if someone we developed this sense of psychological indebtedness when someone gives us something. We developed that because if I gave you, when we were in a caveman tribe, if I gave you some grain that makes you better able to survive, if you didn't involve a psychological indebtedness to owe me one back, then as a species, it's thought that we couldn't have survived. The fact that we survived is because when I give you grain, what that technically means is if it was a zero-sum game and I gave you grain or food or whatever and you didn't owe me one back, then I'm less able to survive and thus procreate the species. So we kind of evolved this psychological indebtedness as part of Darwinian, the scientists can debate why. But the fact is, you guys have all felt it. Have you guys ever been in some sort of relationship or whatever where someone shouts you at the pub? They buy you a drink, then they go to the bar and they buy you another drink, and then they keep shouting, right? Or every time you see them, they pick up the tab for the meal. As much as we might say, yeah, I'll just keep letting him shout. Yeah, it's all good. I'll just drink. Bravado aside, we do feel a psychological indebtedness to buy a shout back. And in fact, we as a society, if we don't pay back, we use terms like moochers and freeloaders, and there are even terms in most societies to describe a person who doesn't pay it back. We will do anything to avoid those terms. We would rather pay money to shout back than be seen by our peers as that freeloader. So knowing that this is a psychological phenomena that is really hard to get past, we can use it as a strategy. But, here's the thing. We want to genuinely come from a place of wanting to do it, because if we just do it with a feeling of wanting to get one over on someone, it won't be nearly as powerful as if we genuinely serve people in whatever it is that we do. For me, that's me serving you guys as best I can to the absolute best of my ability. And for you guys, what that means is serving your community, your database, your people, your farm area, whatever it is that you do in your area, serving your people. Now, whether that's a more database-driven business where you've got people all over your city that you're serving that are on your database, or whether that's a more geographic thing where you're working in a target farm area that's geographically located, you do your best to absolutely sell their properties as if they're your own. Treat them as if they truly were a loved one and give them advice accordingly. Give to them even if they can't afford it. If the difference between a property selling, if they can't afford to sell at the price you've ended up getting, and the difference is, say you're 15 grand apart and they need your 15 grand check or they can't settle, what would you do? Would you let the sale fall over, or would you just say, look, I know that's what you've got to do. I'll drop my comm by the point you need or whatever, and we'll just get the job done. Look, I don't know what it might mean in your situation, but what I'm saying is if you can give and help enough people in your area get what they want, you're going to get what you want. It's a give to receive. Now, for you newcomers, I did want you to say, and I'm not going to belabor this for long, but I do want you to know that the trail of success of my clients is a long one. I'm no longer experimenting on you. And in fact, many of these people are the people, someone asked before, what's this magic 30? I call them the mad 30 now. These are my clients over the years, and I used to experiment on these guys, whether my strategies and my ideas work. Guys like Matt Steinway, you saw some of those names. I am not experimenting on you anymore. Everything that I share with you, either in this training or in future trainings, is proven to work conclusively. So that's what I did want you to say. But what I will say to you is if you want something that you've never had before, you're going to be willing to do some things you've never done before. So it's really dangerous for you to just say that this stuff isn't for me, because I promise you this works. The only reason it won't work is you. So you might, if you agree with everything I ever teach you from now moving forward, if you already knew it, then why didn't you do it? You know what I mean? I'm hoping that I push your buttons in some ways, because if you agree with everything I'm saying, then you don't need me. You know what I mean? Some of the things that you might most vehemently disagree with might be the very thing that is the key to your future success. So we need to change some behaviors. Reason I've got my mate, Mr. Schwarzenegger, up on there, I just wanted you to say that, in my opinion, there's a changing of the guard coming. Do you guys remember in Terminator 1? And I just watched Terminator Genesis twice, right? I love that movie, the brand new Terminator movie. It really pays homage back to Terminator 1, back in 1984, I think it was, when we all first saw that. I think I was 11 years old or whatever, 12. Arnold Schwarzenegger version 1 was the ultimate killing machine. And I remember the quote, he absolutely will not stop until you are dead, right? He was the ultimate killing machine. But do you remember then Terminator 2 came along, and the new technology, the new Terminator, almost rendered that former version 1.0 ultimate killing machine, the original Arnold Schwarzenegger character, that new technology almost rendered him redundant. Well, this is real estate agency. The old school version of an agent that used to be great is being surpassed by a new breed of agent that is absolutely leaving that old school agent from the 90s, from the 2000s even, because it was a different set of skills that required you to be a great agent in 2005, even in 2010, than it does in 2015. There's a new breed. And if you stay with your old method of thinking, you will be rendered obsolete by the new breed of agent. So, in my opinion, here are a bunch of the new breed of agent. This is what this give to get marketing thing can give you. This is a group of clients. This is example number 1 that I'm going to share with you. That group of people, some of those guys in that photo there, are some of the leading real estate agents in this country. And more importantly, they're some of my best mates in this industry, and we've got some of them on this call tonight. These guys saw fit to buy Glenn Twiddle a Harley Davidson. Now, someone before was saying, was that a cardboard cutout? You can't sit on a cardboard cutout, dude. That is the Road King 96-inch Harley Davidson that group of people saw fit, that the money they'd paid me over the years, which, by the way, was a small fortune, was not enough. They decided, led by this man here, Jesse James. I don't know if Jesse's on tonight. Let me just quickly see if he is. Let me just see. I'm just seeing if young Jesse's on. No, I don't think he is. Led by young Jesse James here, he decided that they were going to chip in, and they all chipped in and bought me a Harley Davidson. So, because they know I'm a Harley guy, not a car guy. You know what I mean? So, here's the, you know, there's this, Nick. Is that a cardboard cutout? No, dude. Real deal. There it is in the paper. Clients say thanks in epic style in the Courier Mail. No, it wasn't just a porn night, although Danelle Weissman, who is on, let me just unmute Danelle. Danelle, let me just unmute. True or false? Is that you up the back there snogging with a photo bomb snog? Is that you,
Yes.
Danelle? It looks like my party was like some porn fest. There's my...
Yes, I got a little bit paid out for that one.
I bet you did. Danelle, tell me, what was you guys thinking? There's my young son. There's my young daughter on the bike. Tell me a little bit about your take on, because I wasn't privy to this. This all started 6 months ago, and you guys dropped a bombshell on me in June. Tell me what it's been like to be on the receiving end of, I suppose, a give to get marketing strategy.
So for being involved in the planning of it all.
Yeah, just tell us, I suppose, why you guys felt you wanted to do it, and what you've learned in the whole process about business. What are the business applications? And just tell us a little bit of your take on the whole thing.
Well, see, I suppose from the start, I never looked at it as a business thing because Jesse was the mastermind behind it. Jesse came to me, like you said, about 6 months ago, and knowing that I've been a client of yours for like a really long time, he's also seen my career grow as a result of being involved with you. And I suppose, you know, like, so I thought he probably thought, well, yeah, I'd be up for it. And so when he sort of said the idea, and he said, well, you know how Glenn's always saying, you know, when you make your first million, buy me a Harley. What if we get a whole group of people together and we all chip in and we buy him one? And I said, fantastic idea. Because, look, at the end of the day, I probably could never, well, you know, yes, I pay for, you know, some coaching with you and all of the rest of it. It's all of the other things that being involved with your group and with your coaching that they're priceless. Like, I could never put a price on it, and just by my own very nature, I just thought that was the best thing. All I wanted to do was to be involved in it, to see the look on your face when we gave it to you.
And I love how, because that's how I give to you guys, forgetting about the money. You know, and I know that
absolutely you do. I know you do, and it makes me very sad to see some of the comments from the general arena in Facebook, and I've seen some emails that have come to your assistant. I've seen some stuff go on, and I just think, God, you people are just so small-minded. You've got no damn idea, you know, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much your clients earn. It's got nothing to do with that. It's what you can bring to the table for people, and it's just I just think that. Anyway, it makes me cranky. What I saw today was just unbelievable, but anyway.
Wow, yeah, and I agree, but then there's a lesson in that as well. But I wanted to talk to you about some of the lessons I've learned, yeah, as part of this whole process. But but I did want, I'm so glad Danelle and a few of the guys are on. Carl Quested's on, Scotty Lackman's on, and we'll have a chat to a few of the guys over the course of this. But what Danelle was referring to, I got this today. And so it's top of mind awareness. Someone sent me an email just here. We did black out who it was. Wouldn't be surprised if you bought the Harley yourself and did and this was all just a big self-promotional stunt, Glenn, kind of thing, you know. So I suppose, you know, one of the lessons is not everyone is going to be, you're always going to have haters and naysayers or whatever. But I'm so glad you had Danelle on here who firsthand, I could not bribe this wonderful woman with enough money for her to fake her sentiment that she just said just there. So, I did just want to draw that to your attention. So here's some of the lessons, the big takeaways. First off, there's the obvious one. Help enough people get what they want, and you can have everything you want. That was said by the great man Zig Ziglar, right? Help enough people get what they want, and you can have everything you want. So that's how I see my business. Now, here's the other thing, though. That's the obvious lesson, right? You do a really good job by your clients, develop psychological vendettas towards you, you'll get everything you want. But here's the other lesson. Stop giving sucky gifts. Emotional gifts will set your business on fire. Here's the thing. Those folks, and someone said before, what's the magic 30? The magic 30 is those 30 people that chipped in. And that included some absolute legends of this industry. Matt Steinwade was in on it. Tom Carlin was in on it. One of my clients from America was in on it. These guys are nuts. I love it. Here's the thing. Here's the big principle. I don't know how much those guys would have paid me over the years collectively, but it would have been, I reckon, look, if I had to guess, I don't even know. Let's say $500,000, right? $500,000 plus. I haven't even looked at how much that Harley would be worth. I would guess in the order of 25 grand. I think they got a good deal on it. I don't know. But all I know is the 25, 30 grand, whatever that bike is worth, is significantly less than the cash those guys paid me over the years. But these guys, by giving me a gift like that, it was the gift that will see those people, that group of 30, in my heart for the rest of my life. I will remember that gift, that Harley, not even when that Harley's broken down or sold or in 20 or 30 years. I will be on my deathbed looking at what my life's work was, and that Harley Davidson would be far more memorable to me than the $500,000 plus in cash. So what this means for you is, imagine that, because I would think that many of you guys give gifts at settlement. Because now, as a coach, I know you do. I know that some of you guys, as a matter of procedure, give a $500 gift voucher to Bunnings. I've seen them. You guys give $500 gift vouchers or $200 or $300 gift baskets to your vendors as settlement gifts. But I really want you to learn this lesson. Let me just go back to the slide. Stop giving sucky gifts. You know what a gift voucher is? A gift voucher is the gift you give when you couldn't give a stuff about finding a gift that they actually like, right? So here's an example, and I'm going to spend a bit of time on this as some examples. Imagine you were doing 4 weeks of open houses for a vendor, and you are a bit snoopy, and you notice their CD collection is full of 80s rock bands and, AC/DC and all these 80s classic music rock bands. And then you notice that over in New Zealand, REO Speedwagon and Huey Lewis and the News are touring next January. Now, the reason I use this as an example is because I am a freaking 80s tragic. Believe me, Gabe, I will be in your great country. I will be in Queenstown on January 23rd. I will be in Taupo, wherever the hell that is, on the 30th of January. And I will be in Whitianga on the 31st of January. I will be at all 3 of those shows because it was on my list in 2016 to go and see REO Speedwagon live in America and Huey Lewis and the News live in America. I could not believe when I saw that they were coming to New Zealand. I will be there. Now, imagine if you doing open homes for your sellers for 4 weeks, you get to know them, guys. You're in their home. You are part of their family for that time. And if you're not, then you're doing it wrong. You should be. And you bought them 2 tickets to this show, knowing, kind of guessing that because of their musical taste, they would like it. You paid them a limo ride either way to the show, and you might buy the upgrade tickets where they get to meet the bands. That would probably cost you about $500, about the same amount that you were going to buy on a Bunnings gift voucher. You tell me, guys, what is going to develop psychological indebtedness more, a Bunnings gift voucher or a heartfelt, thoughtful gift that they would truly remember for a long, long time to come? I promise you it's this, because I'm a tragic music fan, right? I love these bands. I will be there. Gabe, book the time out, man. We're going to the show, right? It's going to be awesome. Um, here's the key, guys. Whatever their thing is, you can get to know it during your 4-week tenure as their agent. You can notice it when you can ask them questions when you're doing the tour around their house at the listing presentation. When you're at the open house and you notice a photo of them and a Formula One race car driver over their bar, and you say, wow, you met Michael Schumacher. Oh my God. They're going to tell you the story about meeting Michael Schumacher. You can find out when you see a great set of golf clubs in the cupboard. You get to know what your sellers, what makes them tick, and you buy them something commensurate with that kind of feeling. So let me, here's what logically you're thinking. Oh, Glenn, but you don't understand. If I buy them a gift voucher from whatever store, I buy them a Bunnings gift voucher, I get them a Myer gift voucher or whatever, they can truly buy whatever it is they really want, and then they'll be even more appreciative because I didn't have to guess. They could get exactly what they want. They don't think that. You think about your own personal experience. Have you ever got a gift voucher when you've gone and bought the thing and then you've truly remembered who bought you the gift voucher that bought the thing? Guys, psychologically, gift vouchers, gift baskets and all that stuff, whilst we might appreciate them, gift baskets maybe, I suppose, yeah, if you know that they're a girly girl and they love rubby-dubby things. I know we bought recently a beautiful lady who did some magnificent stuff as a favor for me. My team, knowing she liked that sort of stuff, bought her a nice gift basket full of rubby-dubby, sparry stuff and all of that. Yeah, look, it's nice. But what's nicer, and I know it's appreciated, but will she remember that gift basket in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years? Probably not. Would me, as a tragic REO Speedwagon Huey Lewis and the News fan, remember going to see two of my favorite bands of all time at the one gig? I will remember that till the day I die. I still remember seeing my first concert. AC/DC was my first concert. You know what I'm saying? Give a gift that their clients will love, remember, and induce psychological indebtedness. There's the overall principle, and I've got more for you. But before I move on from this particular strategy, let me just quickly unmute Mr. Carl Quester. Carl, you got a microphone and headset tonight, bud? And if not, let me see if I've got you on unmute, Carl. If you unmute yourself, you should be able to talk. I'm just seeing if any of the other Magic Mad 30 are on. I know Scotty Lackman was on, but I'm just going slowly through the list, seeing who's on, making sure I don't miss anyone. There's Scotty. Let me just unmute Scotty. Now, Scotty's phoned it in, and we haven't got the audio pin. So I don't think I can unmute him. So no, I think that's it. Okay, so we won't be... Carl, I've unmuted you. You haven't got a microphone, bud? No. Oh, no, you've unmuted yourself, dude. Can I hear you? Carl? No, I'm not getting him. No. Okay, cool. All right, so let's move on. We'll take some questions a bit later. I'm not going to open up the written questions. So on the same principle, here is a killer trail commencement for a new buyer based on these principles. So we've talked about what you might do for a seller. Let's get dug into what they need. Look, you might oh, Glenn, I don't want to be snooping around their cupboard. Snoop! Find out what they like. You don't have to snoop that hard to find out what their thing is. Now let's talk about a new buyer. The reason I'm saying this one is because whenever I've bought properties, oh, look at that. I've just been handed a Matsos alcoholic ginger beer. I love this stuff. Let me have a quick sip. All right. I've bought a bunch of houses before. One of the houses that I bought, I was given the keys on settlement day by the seller, who was moving out at the same time as I was moving in. It was the next day after I'd moved in, the day after settlement, that the agent even called. How things going? You moved in all right? Oh, yeah, whatever, or whatever. So it was Not the best experience. No gift, and called me the day after I moved in. What could he have done when I moved in? Here is an idea. Here's a trail. Here are the steps. First off, at 3 p.m. on settlement, not on settlement day, well, if settlement day is move-in day, on 3 p.m. we deliver a pack. What might that pack be? It's an esky branded up with white wine, sparkling white wine, red wine, and maybe Crown Lager, right? Now, someone keep track of how much this is going to cost us, right? Someone keep track of this, how much this is going to cost. I call this my make buyers cry system nowadays because a couple of guys who've implemented this have had tears from their buyers, tears. So we deliver at 3 p.m. Why 3 p.m.? It's late enough that they're moving boxes, right? But it's early enough to sit there with the crown, with the whatever, we get this nice thing. It's on fresh ice, right? So fresh ice. Your logo, a branded esky with red wine, white wine, maybe some nice glasses, some nice beer. So whether they like beer, wine, or white wine, beer, red wine, white wine, or champers, someone keep track of how much this is going to cost. I reckon we're up to about maybe $30, $40 so far. Fresh ice, so another $5. Go to Woolies, ice it up, and have it delivered at 3 p.m. Now, why 3 p.m.? Because at that time, packing isn't finished yet. So you have it couriered around, either by your assistant, but even preferably it's you, and you say, this is the script. I don't know if I've got the script here. Do I have the script? No, I don't have the script. Okay, so you're going to have to just learn this script. I am recording this so you can go over the recording. You say, jokingly, to the people. Now, here's my question of you guys, and I've asked this a few times of my inner circle clients, so I know the answer. When they're packing and moving and lugging boxes at 3 p.m. when you drop off this gift basket full of white wine, maybe you might even put in there as well. See, here's the thing. In these boxes, where's their cup of tea and kettle and tea making facilities? It's in a box somewhere labeled kitchen, who knows where. Where is the milk? Well, it's not the fridge. So, we give them enough to make a hot beverage as well, a cup of tea. Where's the toilet paper? Well, if the seller didn't leave some, who knows? You give them a survival pack of toilet paper, glasses for the red wine, the white wine, maybe some nice glasses. You give them a pack of stuff. Now, some of this stuff is not consumable, like glasses and kettles and mugs for tea or whatever. Now, Jesse James has got some branded ones. You might leave the branded ones, but otherwise you might say to them, now, guys, I understand that move-in days are a pain in the butt. I get it. I've taken care of everything. Here is whether white wine, red wine, or champers is your poison. Here's your drinks. And then you jokingly say, while they're lugging boxes, because think about this, who's lugging boxes with them at 3 o'clock? Their mum, their dad, their kids, their aunties, their brother-in-laws, their mates. Normally, you rarely see a family moving in without other people chipping in to help them lug boxes. So what you say to these people who are helping, you jokingly look at them and say, now, these beers are for when the work's finished, right? So you're leaving your branded esky sitting there on ice, teasing them with your logo sitting on it, right? I love this. So you do all that. You deliver the basket of goodies. You deliver the survival kit with the toilet paper, with the white wine, the glasses, the cups, the mugs, the cup of tea facilities. You also then say, now, you get a certificate from some local restaurants. You have them nicely laminated. And you say, guys, I know that you can't cook tonight because all your stuff's in your boxes. And I know, frankly, you've had enough. We're taking care of it tonight. So here are some certificates. Here's one for fish and chips. Here's one for Indian. Here's one for pizza. Here are your certificates. Dinner is on us tonight. Here is dinner for 4 for fish and chips. You take whichever one of these is your poison. You go down to the fish and chip shop. You show them the certificate. They will say, what do you want? They will give it to you. You bring it back because I know that you don't want to go out for dinner. You just grab your takeaway and you bring it home and you relax. It's all taken care of today. It's on us. We know it's a pain. So there's something to drink, there's something whatever. Get back to work. I got to go. We'll see you later. Now, deliver with this script. Here's the script. So again, I'll get you these slides if you want them. Just email my crew. We understand it's in the same day, so here's everything you need to get through the Savo tonight. And by the way, everything you don't use, you're not allowed to clean up. So all your rubbish, your cups, the kettle, you just chuck everything that you don't use back in the basket or the esky, leave it on the front patio, and we'll swing by tomorrow and pick it up. Tonight, you've done enough. Congratulations. This is from us to you. Okay. Now, when the inevitable thanks comes, by the way, do you think when mum and dad or the mates or whoever are helping to lug or whatever, have they ever bought a property before? Either the owner who's moving in or their helpers and hangers honorers? Of course they have. My question of you, have they ever in their entire life been treated like this by a real estate agent? The answer is a resounding no, because I would have bought about 10, maybe 12 properties in my life, some investment properties, but a bunch of owner-occupied properties, and never once has anyone done anything like this ever. So they are going to talk about you that night, and they're going to be saying, I cannot believe your agent. And when the inevitable thanks comes, there is to be no, oh, shucks, it was nothing. Would have done it for anyone. Right? There is none of that. This is when, in this book, the influence, the psychology of persuasion, there is a moment after they say thank you to you that if you say, shucks, it was nothing, would have done it for anyone, that's like slapping them in the face and of their appreciation. So when the inevitable thanks comes, here's your script. I'm so glad you appreciated it. That's the way we treat our future business partners. Hey, can I just quickly ask you something? Now, what are they going to say? Of course they're going to say yes. Then you say this. In that moment of power after they express their thanks, you say, if you were ever going to sell, and I know for most people, look, that's 5-10 years in the future, but if ever you were going to sell, could I at least ask you that you could put us on the shopping list, how we'd be able to help you sell just like we helped our last sellers sell? That'd be fair enough, wouldn't it? Or something to that effect. Now, let me tell you, I promise, because it's so far in the future, they've just bought, for God's sake. Every single one of them will say yes to that question. They all were. You're not even asking them to sell with you. You're saying, could you at least put us on the shopping list and just have a chat? When they say yes to you, if you stay in touch with them then, moving forward in your CRM, if you do the right thing, staying in touch with them using your multimedia, multi-step follow-up system that we talk about in my trainings, that's another training, of course, but if you stay in touch with them, my question to you is, will anyone ever buy through you and then sell through another agent? Unless they are the brother-in-law and they already have a psychological indebtedness for some other reason to another agent, you will never again sell a property to a buyer and then 3 years later see your competitor's signboard go up. It will never happen again if you follow this system, if you review these steps. We have, like I said, we have had buyers in tears with how appreciative they are. Because think about this, move-in day is stressful. It is it's a horrible day. Sorry, excuse my French. I got newcomers. My apologies. I don't normally swear. I try not to anyway. It's a horrible day. It's stressful. It's emotional. We have had buyers in tears with how courteous this is. Now, by the way, how much did this all cost us? In consumables, because remember, we're asking them to stick the non-consumables, the glasses, the cups, the mugs, the kettles, and all of the stuff that's not consumable. We've asked them to stick that back in the basket and leave it out on the front porch, on the patio, including their rubbish. We're handling everything. Just don't clean anything. You just stick it all out the front. We will take care of everything. How much is this going to cost per vendor? So just someone type in some amounts. How much do you think this might cost us per buyer? Someone type in some amounts. Did anyone keep track of how much this might cost? Red wine, white wine, champagne. Yeah, $60, $100, $80. red wine, white wine, champagne, toilet paper, because the glasses and the kettles and stuff you reuse. Yeah, it's going to come in, we've got 60, 80, 100, 200, 150, 50, 50, 20. Yeah, that's what Wazir's saying. First to set up, it might be a couple $100 to buy the baskets, buy the branded eskies and all that stuff. But once it's set up, to restock these packs, it's going to be $50, $100, right? Just to restock these packs. Now, what you do is you take as many sales as you envisage that you can make in a given week, because remember, you deliver it one day and you pick it up the next day. It might take you a few days to stock up. So as many settlements as you would envisage having in a given week, you get that many branded eskies, that many packs, that many kettles, that many baskets, right? So you get enough packs. If you're selling one property a week, you get a pack or two. If you're selling 3 properties a week, you get 3 packs, because everything here can also be done by a PA if you're too busy. You could absolutely have this done by a PA. So there's the strategy, guys, and believe me, I'm open to debate if you disagree with me, but I promise you, this heartfelt gift, taking into account how stressful their day is, how you've considered that they don't know where their cutlery is, they're going to get takeaway anyway, you're shouting dinner. Now, by the way, the 250 would include the dinner for 4. Here's the next key. You want to go to those restaurants and you want to say this to the restaurants. You want to say, fish and chip shop, you're the best fish and chip shop in the area. There are 6 fish and chip shops in the area. I'm going to suggest to you that I want to give you all the new buyers in the area because you're the best fish and chip shop in the area. I come and use you twice a month. I want to introduce you to the new buyers in the area. Here's what I'm going to ask of you. I know raw materials on a meal for you would probably cost you about, I don't know, $20. I know that retail, a night out meal for 4 might cost you $40 or 50. But in raw materials, in fish, in potato, in whatever, it might be $20. I'm going to have these certificates printed up, branding your restaurant, your fish shop. I'm going to pay for the printing. I'm going to pay for these awesome certificates. Here's an example of one from the pizza shop down the road who's doing it. And I'm going to plug your restaurant to new buyers. Now, as those buyers stay in the area for 5 to 7 years, I would suggest I spend about $3,000 or $4,000 with you over 5 to 7 years. Because I spend about $50 a month, 12 months a year, that's $600. 5 years times $600 is $3,000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to handle everything. I'm going to bring you new customers, new clients, and I'm going to handle the marketing for you. All I need you to do is when someone comes with this certificate, you give them $20 worth of your raw materials, package it up nicely, and welcome them to the neighborhood. And my first choice is you, but I do have 5 more to choose from. But look, I don't want to go to them because you're my fish shop. So you get those damn certificates, you get co-JV branding, and you get those people to donate the free meals. If you can't do it, well, you're supposed to be a negotiator, aren't you? Jesse James, I don't think he ended up jumping on tonight, but if Jesse's on, let me just have one last look and see if Jesse is on. No, he's not. Jesse once said when we had this subject, we were talking about this in a boot camp once, in a thing. He said, because he negotiated $48,000 worth of sponsorship from local businesses to put on his rodeo. He said, you're a negotiator and you can't negotiate a $2 cup of coffee. Now, he was talking about getting free coffee from coffee shops, but it's the same principle. But now, worst case scenario, you pay maybe their raw material costs. They get $50 worth of retail fish and chips, but the guy only asks you to cover off his expenses, $20 or something. Either way, even if you have to pay retail, it's still worth. You pay the 50 or even 100. It's better than a gift voucher, I promise you, because it's thoughtful, it's heartfelt. So get out there and do it. Let me see what other slides I've got. I might have some more ideas out there. Nope. Okay, that's the end of that subject. Have we got any questions or any clarification that you guys have got if we just take a quick intermission? Has anyone got any comments, clarification, or would anyone like to be unmuted? Just type in, did that all make sense? And did I cover everything that you might have as ideas? Let me just, Katie just said Naomi's legs are looking banging. I agree, Kate. I assume you're talking about the photo before. Question, Are delivery flyers? Oh, that's a question. Bill, I'll get to that one later, mate. I'll get to that question later. Make sure we re-ask that in the Q&A section. I suppose questions regarding this subject as I'm after right now. Alex mentions he did a survey last year of houses on the market, and it's astonishing the number who have never heard from their agent ever again. Agreed. Don't do this strategy, guys, if you're then going to orphan your buyers, right? You need to stay in touch with them. Bill says he likes giving gift certificates to very fancy, nice restaurants as final gifts to my seller clients. Is this a good gift or is it too unemotional? Bill, here's my advice to you. If you're going to give fancy restaurants final gifts to the seller, my advice to you would be this. As a gift certificate, it is a bit unemotional. I would go with them. You take them out to the best restaurant that they wouldn't normally go to themselves. Take them with you. Here's what this is a great strategy from the Altman brothers, Josh and Matt Altman from Los Angeles. They're off the TV show $1 Million Listing. We had them to come out. I went to LA, and by the way, on the next season of $1 Million Listing, you are going to see Glenn Twiddle in one of the first episodes. I'm one of the guests on the show. That's going to be fun. But I went over to LA, spent some time with them, and then they came out to train us. And it was awesome that what they get is they hire a master private chef. They get like a celebrity chef to do a private dinner for them, their friends, and you. So it's you, your buyers, and all of their friends. Guys, tell me that isn't brilliant, because it is. How emotional is that? And guess what that's doing? They're bringing their friends that get introduced to you, their real estate agent. Oh, you guys have just paid for the cost of admission right then. Thank you to Matt and Josh Altman. That's what I would suggest to you, Bill. Take the budget that you were doing and either take them and their friends out to the fancy restaurant, or even better, do a dinner in their new home that they bring their friends to, and you hire the most fancy dancy, sexy chef, not sexy in a sexual way, but if you could afford a celebrity chef off TV, you never know, you might get them for $1,000. I don't know, but that would be what I would do. All right. Investors, what would you do? Yeah, well, see, with investors, again, I did get one gift from an investor once. It was a big Magnum bottle of champagne. All I would suggest is, have a think about this a little more. An investor purchase isn't as emotional, so you won't be able to probably get them crying like we've had with the buyers in that make buyers cry strategy. But if you got to know them, still find something and just give a better gift. Maybe go back to strategy 1. Get to know them and find out their thing, whatever that is, and then gift them based on their thing to a budget that's reasonable or whatever. Don't just assume, though, that because they're investors, that all they'll want is a copy of Business Financial Review Weekly. You know what I mean? There's still people who will absolutely respond better to an emotional, well thought out gift than a logical gift or a gift basket or whatever. Try me again if you like. The phone speaker should work. Let me see if Scotty Lackman can now talk. Let me try him again. Audio pin sent. Just put in your audio pin, Scott, because I think you've got to do, I think it's #41# or *41* or something. I don't know, mate, but it doesn't seem to be working. All right, Nick says, awesome. Let's see if there's any other questions. Investors, what would you do? Would also look at what you can offer around the house on moving in, mowing, pool cleaning, etc. Yeah, not bad, Carl. I would suggest that's not bad. If it needs a mow and a thing, pay a gardener $80 to come and do it, sight unseen, and yeah, it's good. Any ideas for investors who are not living locally? Yeah, look, it's harder, Marie, as I said, but just find out, get to know your people, and gift accordingly is definitely the big idea there. How would I find out what recent past clients would like without being obvious? Yeah, Al, it's not going to be easy to do it with recent past clients. My recommendation for you, Al, is do it moving forward. unless you already do know them, don't worry about the recent past sellers. Worry about it from now on, now that you're aware of it. Would you suggest branded wine, etc., i.e. your own brand? Yeah, look, probably not, Nick, unless you're going to do it anyway, because remember, it's going to be on ice. I would suggest just brand up the esky and get their favorite wine or get a nice wine, because often your own branded wine won't be as good a quality as a nice $20 bottle of red. Oh, no, look, I'm just guessing here. I don't know. But is it a bad idea? Of course not. Now, guys, this isn't necessarily what to do. This is more how to think. Okay? I just really want you to sort of get that principle. This isn't what to do. This is how to think. Okay? So, we might have Scotty. I've got someone buzzing and hissing. Scotty, is that you? Are you guys hearing that buzz or hiss? It's gone now. Yeah, look, I think that's my internet connection. My apologies, guys. Hopefully you've got that. All right. Mark is suggesting, I have given my sellers a family dinner out that I have booked ASAP on unconditional. That's not bad, Mark. That's one step better. You book it and you send them. Even if you just popped in, Mark, just to give them a hug and say enjoy. I really would want you more associated with it than just sending them a voucher. You've gone one step better, Mark, which is booking it for them. Not bad. I would suggest at the very least, pop in, give them a hug, say enjoy your dinner, and then get the hell out of there. You never know. If they invite you to stay for a little bit, you stay, right? Guys, we need to make that emotional connection. All right. Scotty just says, Scotty Mitchell, let me just unmute Scotty because he often has a microphone. Scotty, you got a microphone up there?
I think so.
Yep, you do, mate. Yeah. Just tell us about what you've been doing.
Yeah, we've been using just a gift voucher, which I know is probably not as fashionable now as it was an hour ago.
Yep.
But it's a nice looking gift voucher,
Nice.
and it is for we've been working with two restaurants that are regarded as probably the two best restaurants in Hervey Bay, and we rotate those sort of unbiasedly on our settlements, and we give them to our buyers, and they do love them. Like, and we always present them. We say, here's a gift pack with all the other stuff about, moving to Hervey Bay and the stuff they need to know. And then there's going to be a point after you've moved in that you're not going to want to cook dinner. So we'd like you to have a dinner for two on us. And the restaurants also add value, and we leave that at their discretion. So when they come in there, they say, we've got our voucher from Scott and Katrina at Mitchell, and they obviously get looked after. And we've been doing it for over a year now, and the feedback has been excellent, actually.
Beautiful, mate. Very nice. And that's the thing. I'm not poo-pooing the gift voucher thing. And in fact, as I said, pulling out the gift certificate is part of the make 'em cry strategy. And Scotty, as you've just said, they're really appreciating it. So look, it's really good. And you are only limited by your imagination. So like I said, this isn't what to do necessarily, but this is how to think. And Scotty, the main thing is, mate, you're doing exponentially more than anyone else in your area, bro. So congratulations, credit to you. Keep rocking. And what Mark is saying, and he's correct, the idea is that for the next 2 weeks, until the thing settles, hopefully they'll tell everyone. So what Mark's saying is he's doing it for people pre-settlement. So, so that's good. I thought everyone had forgotten that from the Altman brothers. That was my trick. Mate, I tell you, I'm all ears. When I hear something that's gold, when Matt Altman said that one, I thought, that is so good. So Wazir is saying Gold Class movie tickets is what he bought, but don't know what else to give with it. Bugger. Okay, well, so Wazir, that's now you got some more food for thought. So all right, we had a little bit of audio problems, but I think I'm back now. That's good. Okay, Glenn is saying, Glenn Seedy, legend from down south, Twids, invite the family and friends and get you and your staff to do the cooking and waiting on the vendors for a dinner party. We supply the food, whether it's a barbecue or a sit-down meal. Not bad if you've got some decent cooks in your office, Glenn. I think I do like the chef idea, because of the celebrity value, especially if you can get someone to make a bit of a song and dance about how legendary the chef is. But mate, if you can whip up a good, look, it's a great idea as well. Like I said, I'm glad that you guys are thinking, putting your brainstorming session together. I love that this turned into a brainstorm session. Very nice. Taylor says, I read a tip that I thought wasn't a bad idea, was giving a storage king of moving boxes on exchange. Yeah, not bad, Taylor, if you wanted to add that to your pack. Understanding that those boxes are only $3 or $4 each, I think. So even if you gave 20 boxes, I would do more. I would definitely do more. So, yeah, so Nick's sort of saying, look, so there's the strategy, guys. I just wanted to let you guys know on something. It's this sort of thinking that led me to get Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, this was a lifelong dream for me, was hanging out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, I did just want to quickly let you guys know something. This is me at Arnold Schwarzenegger's house. For you newcomers, know that this is the reason that I got invited to Arnold Schwarzenegger's house. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger's backyard. Right there, that's Tim Ferriss, one of the world's best-selling authors. Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek. Recently spoke at ARIC. He was there as well. There was 40 people there, and it was great. You know, it was just awesome. There's where Arnold invited us. There's the Altman brothers. It was great. That's a picture from his backyard. Here's what's next. I wanted to share with you guys something. You guys are the first to know this, all right? A couple of my clients do, and a couple of the speakers know. Recently, I asked this question. It's about the future of real estate. And I asked you, who would you want to spend some time with to future-proof your business? And you told me, John McGrath. I think you gave me some pity votes. There's hundreds of votes here. John McGrath got like 66, 67. I got 56 or 57. Tom Panos, Matt Steinwade, Marcus Ciminello, who is the number 3 real estate agent in the country, James Tostovan, who is the number 1 real estate agent in the country, Chris Gilmore and Tom Carlin, you know, a couple of course, my awesome clients, Andrew Daniel, Manos Vindakakis. I think Andrew gamed the system here. Hello, Andrew is an absolute legend from down in Victoria. But that was your votes. That's who you wanted to spend some time with. I have put together an event coming up in September. I am limited of who I can have in the room because of this question mark here. Now, I can't tell you yet who that is, but I can tell you we will be spending 2 days with Marcus Ciminello, the number 3 real estate agent in the country, James Tostovan, the number 1 real estate agent in the country, John McGrath, the most celebrated real estate personality this country has ever seen, Matt Steinwade, one of the most skillful real estate agents in the world, according to John McGrath and my good self, Alexander Phillips, you may not have heard, but Alexander Phillips is the number 2 real estate agent in Australia. Right there, you have got numbers 1, 2, and 3. Also added to that list, I've just got confirmation that Deborah Evans, Remax's number 1 performer for I don't know how long in Australia, taking 3 months off per year, who still writes $2 million per year. Deborah Evans will be joining us to spend 2 days, not about what they did back in 2005, about what's working now, and about what they see the future of real estate will be. It's called the Titans of Real Estate. It is the best lineup that real estate has ever been put together, period, bar none. No one has ever gotten this lineup with this subject before. And that question mark, guys, is going to blow your mind. Now, how can I get on the list to come to that 2-day event? Unfortunately, this question mark fellow has given us some contractual obligations to only have a certain amount of people in that room. There will be more people who want to come to this event by about a factor of 3 times. I would suggest there'll be 3 times the people who would. It's like Led Zeppelin. When you see who this headliner is going to be, it's like when Led Zeppelin reformed. There was about 10 times more people at O2 Arena who went into a ballot to buy tickets than there were tickets available. And that's what is going to happen with this 2-day event, because I know the numbers that I'm allowed to have in the room, and I know how many people are going to want to be in the room. How do I get on the list to come? You come to be phenomenal. I'm doing a series of 1-day events around the country. This is mainly for the benefit of you for first-timers, guys. I'm coming with the world's number 1 speaker, Eric Thomas. If you've liked what you've seen tonight, I'm going to be bringing example after example of strategy after strategy to every city in Australia and New Zealand, Brisbane, Sydney, Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, and Auckland. And my guys are coming with me. Now, some of the guys can only appear in one city. People like Jay Stanley is only appearing in Perth. Jay does $2 million plus per year. He does 200 plus sales per year. But everyone who comes to Brisbane is going to get a copy of Jay's talk in Perth. Jared Carmen does 1.8 million. He's down here in Victoria. Everyone who comes to any city where he's not speaking will get a copy. So you will get all of it, but in every city, Dr. Eric Thomas will be there, the most watched number one speaker on the planet. If you haven't seen him, go to YouTube, watch some videos, and then decide that you're going to come and see him. I will be, and here's what I'm going to suggest to you guys tonight. First off, if you grab your tickets to Be Phenomenal, which are on sale now, I'm going to give you, and this is for you new guys, I'm going to give you 2 hours of, inverted commas, get you up to speed training with what we've done in years gone by, because this is going to be all new stuff. So we're not going to be just rehashing the same old stuff we've been talking about. We're going to spend a day on strategies like we've talked about tonight, out of the box stuff that you haven't heard before. And you're coming along. Spend a day with us, and I will be credited. So first off, bonus number one, I'm going to be giving you 2 hours or so of get you up to speed, best of material from my years gone by. I've picked the best strategies, the best stuff like tonight, and other ideas and strategies you're going to get for free. And by the way, these tickets are only $99, right? $99 for a day with me. I tell you, just me alone, I promise you, if you don't like it, I'm saying this for you first, you newcomers, if you don't feel at the end of that day that I haven't blown you away, I will personally hand you $200. So instead of $99, I will hand you $200, double your money back. And no one, well, actually, you know what? Over the years that I've offered that, 3 people in history, 3. I've trained tens of thousands of you in these seminars. 3 people in history have ever had, let's just say, the larceny in their hearts to feel it necessary to, you know what? They needed the $200 more than I did. So I gave it to them. I've got a double your money back guarantee that if you're not blown away, I will happily give you a hug, hand you $200 for wasting your time. Come along. Here's what I'm also going to do. Your ticket price to Be Phenomenal, your $99, that other event with those, what I call titans of real estate, will only be $199. It's going to be cheap, right? I'm not here to profit out of you guys. This give to get strategy, I walk my talk. Your $199 for this event, I am going to credit your $99 for this event towards the first one, right? Towards the one in September. This one here is in August. This one here is in 3 or 4 weeks where I'm coming to you, to your city. Grab your tickets to Be Phenomenal, and I will credit your 1-day investment towards your 2-day investment for the Titans of Real Estate. That's how to get on the waiting list, is come and hang out with us at Be Phenomenal. I hope that's clear. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's an irresistibly, unbelievably powerful offer, that your Be Phenomenal ticket will be credited towards your Titans of Real Estate, Future of Real Estate ticket. So, and you get, someone has just said on there, thank you, Carl, too cheap. Insanely generous. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. So make sure you come. We're going to have a blast. And Graham Quinn says it's the Wolf. Graham, I've got to say, with all of my heart, I love Bob Wolf. Don't get me wrong. Next year, I'm going to have the Wolf Man coming. This is bigger than Bob Wolf. That question-marked gentleman is going to blow your socks off. It's going to blow your socks off. It's going to be, there is no one on this planet more qualified to talk about how the business of the future of real estate is going to move on and change, and how we can future-proof ourselves against it. No one is more qualified than that person who is question-marked out. I promise you. So, so when can we put our names down for Titans? If you're already going to Be Phenomenal, Derek, you will be the first ones allowed to come. I suspect that the Titans 2-day Masterclass will sell out only to Be Phenomenal attendees. I don't think it will even get to the open market. My apologies, but I'm contractually obligated to only let in so many people. It's not my fault, right? So Taylor is saying she's already got a ticket for Sydney. I can't wait to see you, Taylor. And yeah, you'll be offered the chance, those people, to come and spend 2 days with us and literally that who's who. Even though the 1 day thing, I promise you, I mean, this is minimizing the impact and the power of Be Phenomenal. Be Phenomenal over the last couple of years has created more $1 million earners per percentage capita than any other training in this country. So it's going to be killer. But I think that this one is going to be a game changer. No one has ever gotten the numbers 1, 2, and 3 real estate agents in the same masterclass on the subject that you guys told me you wanted. You guys are the ones who've been saying, where will the Titans thing be? It'll be in Brisbane, Bert. It will be in Brisbane. Nick's asking, I got my ticket to Be Phenomenal. Does it get posted out? No, you'll just collect it at the event. We'll have lanyards at the event. Yeah, so now what was I getting to? Yeah. Have you guys noticed that there's all this whinging going on in social media about, third-party websites angling in? I was in an office this week and someone had paid, get this, 50% of the commission to a lead-generating website that generated a seller and then referred it on to him. 50%. So understand, guys, there are people out there looking at your commission and saying, how can I get a slice? This event is going to be about future-proofing you from that sort of crud so that you generate your own darn leads and you can say thanks but no thanks to those people because you get 20 or 30 people a month calling you saying, hey, Nick, mate, thanks for staying in touch for all this time. When can you pop round? We're finally ready to sell. So that's the deal, guys. BePhenomenal.com.au. I'm going to come and spend a day with you and get everything, give you everything I've got, give you everything my guys have got. Chris Gilmore, multi-million-dollar performer, did 1.6 million this year, has done more than $1 million a year for the last 5 years, while every year working less hours. And he's going to show you some killer strategies in order that he's been doing lately that are going to blow your socks off. Tom Carlin, 27 years old, even in a year where he's self-confessed had about the last year where he's sort of taken a lot of time off. He still did 1.3 mil, you know. In his best year, only last year, did 1.8. That's when he's on fire. So, guys, it's going to be killer. Yeah, so rock and roll. Wazzy, are you asking for a damn coupon code, dude? At $99, it's already done. See me tomorrow, man. If you're hard up for $100, mate, I'll back you. All right. Just see me tomorrow. I'm in your office. Come and see me tomorrow. But well, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, oi, skip lunch for a day and give me $99 because it's only to cover your coffee in the room, dude. I don't make any profit. All right. So very cool. Yeah, he has to negotiate. Come on, dude. I'm begging here. All right. So let me ask, who's been at B for, I just, rather just me be banging on and raving on and stuff. Actually, where's Scotty? Scotty, you have driven down from Harvey Bay, like hours and hours drive every year for the last couple of years. What's your take on Be Phenomenal as a product?
Well, going back to heavy artillery, that was probably the biggest game changer for me and Katrina. And look, we can't thank you and the crew that hangs out with you, Glenn. We respect more than any other training we've done in real estate. So that's why we come back every year.
I love it, mate. You know what I love about you, mate? As soon as tickets go on sale, you're always the first one to buy. Because, it's funny, when you run these seminars, a lot of the people who we have to pay, venues and speakers and all that stuff, they get paid 6 or 8 weeks in advance because that's the terms, And you guys, not you, Scotty, because you're the one that helps me out by buying now. Many of the sales we make happen in the last week. So there's hundreds of thousands of dollars that I sit here like a stress pot. And Danelle can tell you, because I spend a lot of time with Danelle Weissman, she'll tell you, she'll see me stressing around the office thinking, shit, are they going to come? Are they going to come? And it always works out. But Scotty, I just want to personally say thanks, man, for being so early with helping me cover off on my bills. Mate, you're a friggin' champion, bro. I appreciate it.
We as you've been well rewarded recently, I think everyone that's had anything to do with working with yourself and your crew, we can't thank you enough, Glenn. So it's just we're glad you allow us to come to the events, and it's a steal. $99 is nothing. Just pay it now and go.
I love you, bro. Thanks, guys. That's awesome, man. And mate, and that's why. See, here's the thing, guys. For you guys who are new, sort of to me, this is what I want you to kind of get a sense of. That when you treat your guys like I attempt to do, and I don't always get it right. You know, sometimes I bite off more than I can chew, but I always do my best as if these guys were all paying me 60 grand a year. You know, now, because my top clients, they chip in 5 grand a month, you know. I treat everyone as if they're doing that and good stuff happens. I just go on faith that it does. And, you know, the way Scotty just spoke then, that's exactly the sort of sentiment that, you know, mate, I'm really appreciative of you guys. Now, where's Andrew Daniel? I see he popped on. Andrew, another one of the mad buggers who flew up from Melbourne. You got a microphone tonight, bud? Andrew. I don't think he does. I'll have to put words into his mouth because he flew up from Melbourne to be a part of this. In fact, every state in the country was represented on that Harley thing. So Andrew was part of the fun and flew up from Melbourne. Let me just go back and see. I think there was Northern Territory. There was, I think, everywhere except, no, there was South Australia there. I don't think there was ACT. I think ACT was the only state unaccounted for in that group. So Andrew Daniels on tonight. He doesn't seem to have a microphone, but he just said on the questions, on the comments there, seconded. So thanks a million, guys. You guys are awesome. So, yeah, if you guys have liked what you saw, that's great. Now, if you guys could, now, how are we going for time? Is there any other, I have got a little bit of time, so if you've got some questions, I have got, you know, I'm not going anywhere. So Mark's saying he's got to go and get a contract signed. I love it. See you in Sydney. See you later, Mark. Yeah, good to chat, mate. Mark's been hanging around for a couple of years. Great to see you, mate. It'll be good to see and catch up in Sydney, man. So very cool. Go get that contract signed, mate. You are forgiven and excused. Off you go. So I've got a few secs. If you've got one or two last questions. Now, what was that one that Bill asked before? Bill, can you remember that question you asked that I said I'd get to later? Where's that one? Does anyone remember it? I'm just going, okay, here it is. Okay, Bill asks, are delivery flyers, postcards by post office by unaddressed mail to prospects in my farm area one of the best initial strategies for marketing? Bill, here's my answer to you. And if you got the Arnold talk, you'll know that I only got a 15-minute speaking spot because when Josh Altman says, hey, can I come and speak at your event? You say yes. So I gave Josh Altman my spot, all right? So you only got like 15 minutes of me. So what I would ask of you, Bill, is you're not going to like my answer. Look, flyers and postcards by unaddressed mail is one way to market. But here's the thing. What many of my guys get is 20 to 30 sellers per month. Call them up or email them or SMS them and say, hey, Chris, hey, Andrew. I remember Andrew Rybelt, great performer, worked with him for a long time, back a couple of years back. And I was in his office and he got an SMS from and he showed me, he handed me his iPad and he said, check that out. And he got contact from a seller that said, hey, Andrew, thanks for staying in touch all these months, all these years. We're finally ready. When can you pop round? Right? And so that happens to my guys. They call our guys in. They say, hey, we're finally ready. When can you come around and sell my house? And they don't call in competitors. They just call in you and they do what they price it the way you recommend and they do what they're told. You know what I mean? Like a good consultant should. You know, it's like when my clients come into me, excuse me, and they ask me for some advice, they don't sit there with arms folded, having paid me a good sum of money, and say, oh, Glenn, you know, I don't think you're right. You know, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it my way. You know, you're being paid a great fee to advise. So when clients come to you and ask you for your advice, you want clients to be obedient and to do what you recommend to them. So that's what happens when you do this right. What happens in most instances, though, in real estate is we're called in. They call in 3 of our competitors. They sit there with their arms folded and they go, oh, whatever, and then they go, yeah, give us your shtick or whatever. They hear us out, and they choose the least offensive. I think it might be Tom Panos, but one of my speakers said once, they choose the unshittest of the shit, or the uncrappest of. They just choose the least offensive of us, and they tolerate or whatever. So here's my thing for you, Bill. You've asked the question: is this one of the best initial strategies for marketing? It's one of many. Here's the main principle. It's not one way that Andrew Rybelt or the Chris Gilmore or the Matt Steinwade or that any of my guys that we've talked with here tonight or any of the guys, it's not one way they get 20 listings a month or 20 call-ins or whatever the case may be. It's not one way they get 20. It's 20 ways they get one. Or you know what it sometimes is? It's 40 little mini marketing strategies that get them one call-in every 2 months. So your job, Bill, is to just slowly implement one strategy after another. And here's the other thing that protects you. If you've got 20 to 40 little mini marketing strategies, and we've talked about 2 of them tonight, gifting your sellers well and gifting your buyers well, right? The make them cry buyer strategy with the Esky and stuff, the effective gifting of sellers with something that they really like, whether it's rock concerts or I've given to clients, I've stalked their Facebook wall and seen that they're a Pearl Jam fan. In fact, let me see if Patrick's on here. He often is. There was a client that I wanted to say thank you to. No, he's not on tonight. I stalked his Facebook wall. I saw that Pearl Jam was his favorite band. I went online and I bought a personally autographed Pearl Jam band framed and autographed with a certificate of authenticity photograph. I had it delivered, framed with a little plaque that says courtesy of Glenn Twiddle Real Estate Coach. I had it couriered to his house. That's a great thank you gift because I found out what he likes. So there's 2 strategies, Bill, but my main answer to your question is, bud, it ain't going to be any 1, 2, or 3 things that's the magic pill. It's 20 to 30 ways you're going to get one call in, not one way you're going to get 20 to 30. And that means that, there's some work ahead of you, bud. And it's a shame. I wish I could give you a better answer, but here's the problem. If I gave you the magic letter, Bill, say I gave you a letter that got you 20 call-ins. A magic letter that magically got 20 people a month to say, Bill, you're a genius. I loved your letter. Come around and sell my house. You're at the mercy of your competitor getting that letter. And I tell you, it ain't that hard for a competitor to get your marketing materials. All they have to have is a friend who's in your area, and then they've got your magic pill. So the next time you send it out, they've sent it out as well, and you get 10 leads and they get 10 leads. So if there was any one thing that got 20 call-ins a month, it's going to be diluted the minute your competitors copy it. That's why I love that it takes 40 ways to get one, because none of your competitors, Bill, if you put in, mate, if you freaking hook in like a beast, and you get those 40 strategies. If this week you do the make buyers cry thing, you go and buy the Esky, you get it branded, you get the bulk wine, you get the deal with the local bottle shop to get the wine in bulk, the beer in bulk, and you do all that. And then next week you start working on how to make sellers more appreciative. And then the next week you get those flyers, those things that you mentioned, the direct mail, the unaddressed mail, and you do that. And then the next week you get something, and you get 40 little marketing strategies in place, of which I describe in many of my trainings, and you've got a bunch of them in that Arnold Schwarzenegger product that you purchased, those CDs. You've got a bunch of them from me and my guys who've learned from me. So you implement the 40 ways because it will make you immune to your competitors knocking them all off. They might knock off 1 or 2 of your strategies, and you got 38 more. You know what I mean? That's the key, Bill, and that's the real answer, and that's the unfortunate answer that you got some work to do, bro. So Bill's just answered. Thanks very much for answering my question, Glenn. You're one of my favorite trainers. That's why I got up at 4 a.m. to attend this webinar, mate. Thank you, Bill. I'm honored, man, that you've come this far. Bill, what I'll do, mate, is I'll get you to email me. I know that you've popped the email in this sort of thing. If you could find me and email me directly, I will get you some extra goodies, bro. It'll be my honor and my pleasure. All right, guys, if you've enjoyed tonight, I'm going to ask you, please, if you could go to my Facebook wall and tell me I'm great, or tell me that you've learned a lot. Not even that I'm great. Tell me that you've learned something. Tell me that you're going to implement something. Tell me that it's going to make a difference in your career. You just know it. Or if it already has, tell them that. And then come along, spend a day with us at Be Phenomenal. Bill, you won't be able to come this far to the Be Phenomenal thing, dude. But hey, Bill, I'm going to make you this offer. I'll put you on the list. If you want to come from Darn, Canada, and you want to come to that 2-day thing in September, you don't have to come to Be Phenomenal, but I'll get you on the list to come. You know, one of my guys did come from Texas. That's Texas in Australia, Texas in America, the Lone Star State. He came from Texas to spend 2 days with us last year, and he tells me he's coming again this year. So pretty cool. So Bill, if you do want to, I know it's a long flight. I know it's a long way to come, but if you asked David Pannell from Texas, from Fort Worth in Texas, he said that it was the best trip, the best training that he's ever done, and his career is on fire over there because none of his competitors have even heard of me. So it's awesome. So Bill, you know, for yourself, come on over, but for everyone else, man, you got to come. It'll be great. So guys, pop over to Facebook. Now, by the way, if you've liked it, please tag me in. But if you haven't liked it, there's a new spelling of my name for anyone who doesn't like my training. It's Anthony Robbins. So you go to my page called Anthony Robbins, and you tell Tony, you say, Glenn, you're an idiot. You say, sir, you're an idiot, and I don't like your training. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love Tony, man. I've done so much of Tony Robbins training. It's not funny. So yeah, guys, thanks for tonight. Pop over to Facebook. I've answered all the questions here that have come up. Thank you to those Magic 30. They're on screen there. Look at those legends. To that hater who said that I bought my own Harley and this is all an elaborate marketing ploy, I thank you for thinking I could be that devious and that smart, but I'm afraid I'm not that clever. I'd rather just love you guys to frickin' death and good stuff happens. So there they are. I'll forever have that group of folks in my heart. To the few guys who couldn't make it, Andrew Kiriakou couldn't be there. Matt Steinwade wasn't there on the night, but Daniel Richardson and Tom Carlin, those guys couldn't be there on the night, so they're not in that photo. But those people, those 30-odd, will be with, they are a living, breathing example of the principle that we've shared tonight. You give enough people what they want, you'll get everything you want, and stop giving sucky gifts. This $20,000, $30,000 gift they gave me meant exponentially more to me than the money they paid me in fees. And they probably gave me 10 times, 20 times the money that cost in fees over the years. There's a real lesson to learn there. Guys, Glenn Twiddle signing off. Thank you. We'll see you at Be Phenomenal. Go get your ticket. And remember, your Be Phenomenal credit will credit towards your Titans of Real Estate. And please stay tuned for who the question mark is. Where is it? Where is it again? So that Titans of Real Estate, it's going to be a 2-day training on where the future and present of what's working now, what's working in the future. There it is. It's the numbers 1, 2, and 3 real estate agents in Australia. It's John McGrath, household name. You all know him. It's Matt Steinwade. It's me. And this question mark, guys. I promise you, your mind will be blown. Chat on Facebook, guys. I'm going to pop on there and answer some of your comments and things like that. Thank you for tonight, and we'll see you next time, guys. Bye for now.